Oh, sweet sweeteners. Are they healthy or are they gonna kill us?
Fatality.
Do they cause cancer? Do they have some beneficial effects on health? Let's find out in this video. So what even are sweeteners? Well, as the name suggests, these are substances that taste sweet.
How the fuck you know that, bro?
Watch your profanity.
And broadly speaking, sweeteners can basically be natural
All natural.
Okay.
or artificial. All of you know of natural sweeteners. These are things like sugar, fructose, but there are also many artificial sweeteners, so that simulate that sweet taste, but synthesized inside a lab. So not being found in nature. Based on recent data, about 50% of American adults report a regular consumption of food containing sweeteners, especially sugar-free beverages. And also children consumption of these sugar-free products has increased in the last years. Now, as a broad classification, sweeteners can be divided basically into two groups. Caloric sweeteners, so filled with calories, so they do contain some calories, and non-caloric, so no calories. Some examples that we all know of caloric sweeteners are sucrose, glucose, dextrose, fructose, lactose, maltose. So non-caloric sweeteners are sugar alcohols, artificial sweeteners, and natural non-caloric sweeteners. For example, one recent study showed that the most used sweeteners in Mexico were sucrose, fructose, high fructose corn syrup, polyols, and other non-nutritive sweeteners. So why use sweeteners? Why just not use sugar or fructose or high fructose corn syrup? Well, it's much more cost efficient to make artificial sweeteners inside the lab in high quantities. Also, many times they're much more sweeter than regular glucose or sugar, so you're gonna even need lower amounts to reach the same level of sweetness. And nowadays many products containing sweeteners and many people consuming them, even children. You might wonder, hey, are they healthy? What are the effects of these substances long term? By the way, if you enjoyed this beautiful and sophisticated content, please like, subscribe, share, it helps growing the channel. For example, here we have a list of different levels of sweetness in comparison to sugar. For example, aspartame is 200 times more sweeter per gram than 1 gram of sugar. At acesulfame potassium. And look, a relatively newer compound, neotame, is almost 13,000 more sweet than sugar. So its power level is over 9,000!
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000?
That's some sigma male level of sweetness right there. Also, stevia, another frequently used sweetener that I also use, is 300 times sweeter than sugar. Now, related to calories, most non-caloric sweeteners, as you might guess, don't have any calories. For example, all of these artificial sweeteners have basically 0 calories. Stevia or monk fruit is the same. So monk fruit extract is extracted from a monk. So you only get them from Tibetan monks. And you can see a beautiful table right here of the caloric value of these sugar alcohols, also called polyols. For example, the most amazing of them all is erythritol, because it has 0 calories. Now, when researching these sweeteners and their effect on health, you're gonna see that their effect depends a lot, among other things, on the dose. Of course, it's one thing to eat 1 kilo of aspartame per day, and just 1 gram of aspartame per year. Let's see the effect on gut health, or the bacteria that live inside your intestines and dictate many times the health of your whole body. In one review in which the authors looked at many studies, they recommended taking special precautions with sucralose and acesulfame K due to their documented negative effects on overall health. Stevia does seem to be processed by certain intestinal bacteria, so in theory, long term it could influence the bacteria residing inside your gut. All in all, stevia does seem to be safe and even has some beneficial effects on glycemic control and weight and gut microflora. Polyols seem to have prebiotic effects, so feeding the healthy bacteria, also laxative effects and other unknown effects. Sucralose, another artificial sweetener, has a lot of conflicting studies and results in the literature. Some studies show that sucralose has no adverse effects and even some good ones, But on the other hand, studies on rats show that sucralose consumption determined dysbiosis, so altering the healthy gut microflora of the rats. Also related to aspartame, in one study after 2 weeks of half a gram of daily aspartame, so that's about 2 cans of sugar-free Coke per day, no changes in gut flora were seen. Maltodextrin, another sweetener. Some studies on human show beneficial effects on metabolic health and a good prebiotic effect. In rats show dysbiosis, so again altering the healthy bacteria in the gut, and also could induce inflammation inside the gut, so again mixed results. And yeah, you can imagine negative effects of certain substances that you eat and are being absorbed and go inside your body, but you wouldn't imagine bad effects of certain substances like artificial sweeteners that don't even get absorbed inside your body, you just poop them out. Also keep in mind with aspartame that it's not heat stable, so don't overheat things that contain aspartame. And also some studies show that aspartame in food with a pH higher than 6 can transform into a compound that is linked with cancer. And also when the body processes aspartame, it can lead to a compound that determines neurotoxicity, so affecting your brain health and your brain cells. Also, to make things even more complicated, the studies showed that the effects of these sweeteners on your gut health is determined also by the food pairing that you make. So high-fat foods, low-fat foods with those sweeteners, and also your genetics. So a certain person that has a certain genetic makeup and certain activated genes could react differently to the same sweetener as another person that doesn't have those genes activated. So it is a very complex situation.
It's a me, Mario.
But how about some beneficial effects? Polyols, so sugar alcohols, seem to have a beneficial effect on dental health. So of course, if you're gonna limit sugar intake and in essence tooth decay, you're gonna improve your dental health. So sweeteners could help with this. But it's fun to look at this study, for example, xylitol's health benefits beyond dental health, a comprehensive review. Okay, so xylitol is amazing for dental health. Wow! If you read this study and you scroll down to conflict of interest, because it's always useful to see this part, you can read all authors are employees of DuPont Nutrition and Biosciences. Okay, nice. What does this DuPont do? DuPont Nutrition and Biosciences manufactures and markets xylitol. Okay, well that's kind of a problem, don't you think? The authors declare no other conflict of interest. Well, I think that's enough conflict of interest. Polyols, for example, so sugar alcohols, except for erythritol, can cause some discomfort like abdominal discomfort, flatulence, softened stools, and diarrhea when taken in excess, so be careful about these. Now let's go to an important effect of sweeteners, the effect on weight, right? Because many people choose sweetened beverages or foods to limit caloric intake and maybe lose weight, right? For example, in this 2020 meta-analysis, it was shown that replacing water with these sweeteners had no effect on body weight, but replacing sugar, sucralose, with these sweeteners resulted in weight loss. And of course this makes sense because if you're not trying to lose weight, you're not gonna care if you're drinking water to add these in your diet, it's gonna be no effect. But if you're trying to lose weight and you have a sugar craving and you're eating maybe a lot of sugary foods or drinking sugary beverages, replacing them with 0-calorie foods or beverages could help with weight loss, of course. And as a practical example, let's say you eat about 100 grams of sugar per day, and that's not even far-fetched nowadays. 100 grams of sugar is basically contained in a liter of Coke, okay, so it's not that much. 100 grams of sugar is gonna be 400 calories. So if you're gonna replace those 100 grams of sugar with something with a non-caloric sweetener, you're gonna save 400 calories per day. So in theory, if you do this every day for a week, you can lose about a pound of fat per week. So what's not to love? How about the risk of cancer? Yeah, we all know about the scandal related to aspartame and cancer, but let's see what the latest studies say about this. As a conclusion, the studies show that aspartame and acesulfame K seem to be linked with cancer, but only when the dose is increased to a certain level. It doesn't help that most of the studies are done on animals and on rats, which have of course a different weight than humans. Also, humans might have different ways of absorption and metabolizing those products. So in my opinion, from reading the studies, the effects of sweeteners on cancer risks is mixed, and it depends a lot on the dose and long-term exposure. Related to the effects of sweeteners on glucose, most of them don't have significant effect on glucose or insulin levels or risk of diabetes. So if you want a conclusion related to the sweeteners' effect on your overall health,
Okay.
unfortunately, it's complicated, and the same sweetener can have different effects depending on the dose, what that sweetener is paired up with, the type of food, fat, also other sweeteners or other compounds, and also how long you consume it, so long-term use. Also, it's important to restrict certain sweeteners that can be absorbed inside the body and can even pass through milk while breastfeeding. That's why it's important for breastfeeding women to restrict completely sucralose, acesulfame K, and saccharine, because they can transfer through breast milk. Also, there is a rare condition called phenylketonuria in which individuals that have this disease shouldn't consume aspartame, because in this disease phenylalanine builds up in the body, it can be processed, and aspartame can be converted to this phenylalanine. So in conclusion, should you consume these sweeteners? Are they safe to eat? My opinion is that if you're trying to lose weight, you can use these artificial sweeteners or non-nutritive sweeteners to satisfy your sweet tooth or sugar craving without adding too many calories in your diet. So if you're trying to lose weight, these can help you with losing weight. But if you're not trying to lose weight and you're just consuming them for the fun of it, there's no real point in it, because we don't know the effects on your health long term. Maybe it's gonna completely destroy your health. Maybe they could have some beneficial effects.
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
We don't know for sure. So how about not consuming them if you don't have to? I think that would be the conclusion of all of these studies. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something interesting about these damned sweeteners. If you did, please leave a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because it helps growing the channel, grow my pretties, grow. And we'll see each other next time. And also write in the comments what subject would you like to see me tackle or we talk about next time. Salut!